Hi, my name's Laura Bonanno, and I am representing the AANA Foundation Task Force for Poster Abstract Submission, and I'll be presenting on the submission of an abstract for research. At the AANA Annual Congress, during the Program Directors Luncheon in August 2023, there was much discussion about the abstract submission and review process. Dr. Jordan and the AANA Foundation board members shared some of the challenges regarding the quality of the abstracts that were being received, which included poor writing quality, the abstracts being incomplete, there being a lack of substantive data to support the findings, and that there was inconsistency among the reviewers in scoring the abstracts. At that meeting, Dr. Jordan asked for volunteers to serve on a task force to revise the abstract review process. And I was actually named the chair of that task force. And the charge was to revamp the abstract review process, which included evaluating the current poster abstract process and identifying gaps in the process, looking at the applications for the abstract, the criteria for each category of abstract, and the criteria for reviewers in scoring the abstracts. We were also tasked with creating suggested changes to the abstract process, to creating a new abstract process that included a revised application, the review process, and criteria for review. And then finally, we were asked to create educational videos for applicants and reviewers. The abstract categories were revised, and we changed this to have three major categories. The first category being research, which includes both qualitative and quantitative research. The second category is non-research, and that's the evidence-based practice and quality improvement category. And the third category, also non-research, is case study and innovation. So here we'll be talking about the qualifying questions for the research category. Research uses the scientific process to generate new knowledge and evidence about a subject using methodology including measurements of variables, collection and statistical analysis of data, and conclusions based on results of the study. So there are three qualifying questions here. The first, did you use a methodology to answer a research question? If yes, you'll progress to the next question. If no, you would need to choose a different category. The second qualifying question is, does your study involve data collection and analysis? If yes, you'll progress to the next question. If no, you would again need to choose a different category. And the final question here, do you use a methodology to answer a research question or test a research hypothesis? If the answer is yes, then you would continue. If the answer is no, then you would need to choose a different category. This is the scoring rubric for research abstracts, both qualitative and quantitative. The rubric begins with an overall section, and in this section we're looking to see whether or not there is any critical flaw or weakness that would preclude the abstract from being accepted. Some examples would be that the abstract was inaccurate, was incomplete, or was only a literature review. Please note that a literature review only will not be accepted. And we have a definition provided here for a literature review, and it's also defined in the guidelines. The next section of the research scoring rubric is the title and introduction section. There is a character limit here of 875 characters, and this does include spaces. And there are 4 criteria here. If you move across, you can see that for each criteria, the reviewer will select yes or no. If it's yes, it will be scored 1 point. If it's no, it will get 0 points. And we ask that if no is selected by the reviewer, that a comment is provided. The first criteria is, does the title reflect the research project? The second is the significance of the problem and/or phenomena as evidenced in the literature review clearly described. Third is the need for the study clearly demonstrated. And fourth, is the research question clearly stated and aligned with the title and background for quantitative research, or is a theoretical framework appropriate to inform the study for qualitative research? The next section of the rubric is the method section, and here there is a character limit of 1,050 characters, and again, this does include spaces. The criteria here are scored the same way. The first criteria is protection of live or animal subject addressed adequately, and is a statement regarding IRB or IACUC approval or exemption included. The second is the research design appropriate and logically consistent for the research question or questions posed? And this is for both qualitative and quantitative research. The third criteria is, are the sample, setting, and data collection clearly described and consistent with the methodological approach, including instruments or specific methods? And the fourth is the data analysis clearly described and consistent with the research design and methodological approach. For the results section, the character limit here is again 1,050, including spaces, and the criteria here scored the same way. Are the results reported in clear, concise, and accurate manner? Are the results aligned with the research design, purpose, and goals? Does the statistical analysis, if it's quantitative research, or the thematic analysis, if it's qualitative research, support the results, and is the interpretation of the results sound? And the last criteria are reliability and validity addressed if it's quantitative research, or is trustworthiness addressed if it's qualitative research? For the discussion section, the character limit is 1,400 characters. That includes spaces, and the criteria scored the same. Are the discussion and conclusion supported by the results? Are implications and recommendations for practice discussed? Are study limitations discussed adequately? And are suggestions for future research included? The next section of the scoring rubric is the writing style and format section, and this is a new section. There is no character count limit. This is simply for the reviewers to score the following criteria. Are the guidelines followed? Is APA format correct? Is correct grammar, punctuation, and sentence structure used? And finally, is the abstract logical and well organized? We wanted to include some overall tips for the abstracts. The first is to make sure that the template is followed to ensure that all required sections are included. The reviewers will be using the scoring rubrics, which include evaluation for each section of the abstract. So if the template is not followed and a specific criteria is missed, then the reviewers may give a 0 for that criteria, which could affect the overall score of what might be a great project. And then next, the character limits are hard stops. If your abstract is over the character limit, you will not be able to submit, and it would result in an incomplete submission. And then finally, it may be necessary to have a trusted person review your abstract just to make sure that everything is addressed according to the criteria. Here are some tips specific to research abstracts. You must have a clearly stated research question. You could also have a hypothesis or aims. You must clearly describe what was done in the methods section. In the results section, there should only be results, not an analysis plan or discussion. And your results should answer the research question posed and include statistical evidence if it's a quantitative research project, or a thematic analysis if it's a qualitative research project. The discussion section should put your results in the context of what other studies have found. And if these are new findings, that would need to be stated. And also, finally, implications and/or recommendations for clinical practice should be included. As a reviewer, when you're reviewing abstracts, it's important that you look to see whether the research question was clearly stated, whether it's important, is the research method appropriate and well described, are the results clearly presented and supported by the data, are the conclusions supported by the data and appropriately limited, is the abstract written in a clear and concise manner, and is the topic of the abstract in scope a good fit for the meeting. On behalf of the AANA Foundation Task Force for Abstract Submissions, I want to thank you for your time and attention, and we look forward to submission of quality abstracts for the next annual Congress. Thank you.